According to the Chinese Zodiac, 2025 is the year of the snake, meaning that any and all babies born this year are going to have some snake-like qualities. Now, if you're like me and were born and raised in the Western world, that probably doesn't sound very appealing to you, because in the West, we're taught that snakes are dangerous predators, inherently evil beings with power that rivals the gods themselves. They attack our heroes, tempt our women, and even chew on the fabric of reality. But that isn't the case in China and many other Eastern cultures where snakes are regarded with as much respect as they are skepticism. If you look at their old myths and legends, you'll find a few sinister serpents for sure, but you'll also find some benevolent ones that bestowed humanity with not only the gift of life itself, but also the wisdom to live it properly. Before we get too far into the mythology though, I want to explain what it means to be born during the snake phase, how that affects your personality, your skills, your relationships, etc. Because I know that's why a lot of you are here, and I'm curious to see how accurate some of these claims are. I pulled this info from a few different sources, all of which can be found at the bottom of the description, and I was honestly impressed at how little contradiction there was between them. But if something does stand out to you as completely off base, let me know in a comment. So every animal in the Chinese zodiac presides over a certain time of day. The snake's time is between 9 to 11 a.m., when the sun starts warming up the world and when we transition from our hectic mornings to the productive middays. Each animal also has a dominant element. Throughout the year, the snake's going to be affected by all 5 elements: wood, fire, earth, metal, and water, but there is one that resonates the most deeply, and that's fire. Specifically fire in its yin form as opposed to yang. Snakes aren't so much the blazing wildfires that Smokey always warned us about, but rather the lone spark that starts the fire. The last flickers of the torchlight before the darkness swallows you completely. Snakes are powerful but subtle. They're mysterious, elusive, and most of the time you don't know they're there until it's too late. Because of their natural tendency to study and observe, snakes are also hyper-aware of these social games we play. They know that most, if not everyone they meet, is donning a kind of mask, and they make it their mission in life to expose what's lying underneath while keeping their own securely in place. This is extremely beneficial in both their personal and professional lives. They have this uncanny ability to simply talk their way into getting what they want. A valuable skill when you're on the snake side, but their independent nature means that's rarely going to be the case. This fluidity they have in the social world also comes with some downsides. Constantly adapting to the expectations of others, even when it's for their own benefit, can result in them losing track of their own identity and losing a core part of themselves along with it. But truth be told, that may not bother the snake all that much, because snakes get genuine joy out of maintaining the mask. Social interactions are seen as games to win, and if a certain part of their personality no longer serves a purpose, they'll shed it as easily as a snakeskin. Now, all of this is not to say that snakes are power-hungry sociopaths. They're just competitive, deep thinkers who feel their understanding of the world is the objectively correct one. With this in mind, their intellect presents itself in some interesting ways, depending on the element the snake is influenced by. But first, I want to influence you to try out our sponsor, Squarespace. Squarespace has been at the forefront of web design for 20 years, and now they've made building a professional website even easier with their latest innovation, Design Intelligence. All you need to do is describe your business, set your preferences, pick your favorite colors, and the AI handles the rest. Squarespace makes life easy for everyone from creators to business owners. You can easily list products for sale, be them physical or digital, manage inventory, and track shipping. You can even create exclusive members-only sections for premium content. And these are just some of the tools Squarespace puts at your disposal. See what they can do for you with a free trial by going to squarespace.com/Jon Solo or click the link in the description. Just make sure to use code Jon Solo at checkout for 10% off your first purchase. The first of the 5 elements is wood, which is known for its creative potential. And so snakes born during a wood phase, be that during the year, month, day, or hour, will have the aforementioned qualities manifest in a creative way. They may also be better at putting their abstract thoughts and feelings into words, and this layered understanding of communication might allow them to learn new languages faster. What's really cool about snakes and creativity, though, is that according to Chinese myth, it was a snake who performed the most creative act of all. Nuwa was a half-woman, half-serpent, and the progenitor of all mankind. The legends say she molded man out of clay with her very own hands, a task that would have been anatomically impossible judging by some of these depictions of her. Now for the element of fire. While wood symbolizes the potential for creation, a blank canvas, fire symbolizes the burning desire to create, the spark of creativity that turns ideas to reality. And on the extreme end, ideas so revolutionary that they change the way the game is played forever. The way rock and roll revolutionized music, or how The Sopranos revolutionized TV, embody fire. The burning passion of fire also represents desire, and considering that snakes are already highly motivated individuals, you can imagine that fire snakes are on another level. Fire snakes push themselves in all pursuits, be them body or mind. They want to maximize their understanding of the world and their ability to manipulate it for their benefit. As for earth snakes, they have a bit harder time embracing their natural skills. You see, the earth element is all about stability, staying solid and constant, which is in direct contradiction to the snake's innate desire for flexibility. This internal conflict, combined with the snake's complex mind, often leads to paralysis by analysis. They're so caught up in evaluating every decision, they never end up making one. A feeling I can definitely relate to. Snakes born during the metal phase deal with the same struggle, because like stone, metal is inflexible, but the heat from the snake's natural yin fire allows the metal to bend a little bit more. In the zodiac, metal represents our conceptual understanding of things, our ability to look at a few pieces of wood nailed together and see that object's potential as a chair to sit on, a table to eat our supper, or a surface to rail some lines off of. Metal is the state where things become more than what they are. It allows us to draw symbolic meaning from something like the Mona Lisa or the Declaration of Independence, so we see them for what they represent and not just ink blots on old pieces of paper. This understanding of the abstract, combined with their communication skills, allows metal snakes to break down complex concepts into simple ideas that anyone can understand. That also makes them adept arguers. They can understand both sides of a debate well and dismantle each argument as they see fit.
Because Mr. Reynolds, science is a liar sometimes.
Oh boy.
The intensity of the snake's ambition puts a lot of these elements into overdrive, but its relationship with the water element is unique. Water is the final of the 5 elements and represents the cleaning of the slate, washing away the old to start fresh, like when the snake sheds its skin. In reality, I think snakes get pretty irritable during their shedding phase. Apparently, it's a very stressful time, but those born in the snake phase are the most peaceful during the water phase. They're too busy thinking deep, contemplating what they're leaving behind as they get ready to start their next journey. That journey might entail a career in law, politics, or public relations, pursuits that require a lot of social finesse, which the snake's slippery skill set lends well to, and their independent, self-oriented nature allows them to excel at. So as you can see, the snake is actually viewed pretty favorably in Chinese culture. The snake is seen as a symbol of luck and prosperity, so those born during its phase are lucky and will one day be prosperous. They can be dangerous if you try to stifle their ambition, but it's far better to have them as a friend than an enemy. But what about the snakes in Chinese mythology? Do they embody the same qualities? I was really hoping they would, because it would make this episode a lot more interesting, but if I'm being honest, I'm not really seeing any connections. The water god Gong Gong could be seen as an example of how the zodiacal snake reacts to failure. He had the body of a snake with the head of a man, and when he lost his fight against the god of fire, he bashed his head against Mount Buju, one of the 4 pillars that supports the sky. He actually hit it so hard that the mountain crumbled, causing a hole to tear in the sky and the earth to tilt on its axis. Fortunately, the creator goddess I mentioned earlier, Nuwa, was able to repair most of the damage, in part by killing a giant tortoise and cutting off its legs to use as new sky pillars. Brutal. Completely unrelated is the Zhu Ying, the 9-headed baby. I'm happy to report this snake's 9 heads do not resemble a human baby's, but the sound it makes sounds like a baby's cry. It can breathe fire as well as spit water, and in one myth, it terrorized humanity until it was killed by a divine warrior. I don't want you snakes walking away from this, or I guess I should say slithering away from this, thinking that I'm calling you some monster that needs to be slayed though. I'm just saying you're a force to be reckoned with, at least according to my sources. But what do you think about my assessment of snakes? Was it totally spot on, or did I completely miss the mark? Let me know in a comment, then remember to like and subscribe because I'll be exploring the messed up origins of a new sign every month for the rest of this year. Until next time, my name is Jon Solo, and remember, Jon shot first.